Mage or Warrior? Who is better on this update? Let's check it out. What up, Snow Squad? It's your boy Snow, and we are back again here on Dungeon Quest to know which class is really better on this update. Would it be Mage or Warrior? But before we get started, make sure that you have already frozen that thumbs up button, and of course, we are just 2,000 subs away from hitting 50k. It would be really awesome if you will also subscribe to our channel. Anyway, let's start with their spells. Most of the mages right now are using the Amethyst Blast. The reason why is that the spell has an excellent range and burst damage. Of course, it is best to be paired with the inner focus for you to have an additional 80% damage, and also the moving speed is really juicy. For the Warrior, however, Lava Barrage should be your pick because it has the most range out of all Warrior spells, although it is 3-tick spell and not burst just like on the Mage one. Pairing it with your buff skill Inner Rage would be your best spell set for Warriors. I've seen some in the comment section saying that double Lava Rage would deal more damage and would be better, but I mean, that's obvious that it will do more damage. However, the additional 20% damage that you will deal to the mobs using double Lava Barrage would not be worth it if the risk of you dying on your run every single time would be so much higher. Without the buff, you will be prone to those stun attacks by the mobs, and also it will be harder for you to dodge boss attacks, especially on the third boss. Before we check the damage for both DPS, let me just take note that the equipments that we will be using for the test would not be exactly the same. It would be impossible for us to have exactly the same stats for the sets and also the legendary, but the two sets of equipments are considered above average. For the Mage, we will be using a 912,000 and 906,000 Purple Lava King's Mage set with an 8.4 million legendary, and of course for the Warrior we'll be using a 914,000 and 916,000 set with an 8.29 million legendary. I will also set my HP to 90 million because that's the newest safe HP for you not to be one clapped on the third boss. 80 million is still okay, but if you have the most DPS on your party or on your squad, it is always better to have one more hit to give yourself a chance to be healed. Let's now check both classes' damage using their best spell set. For the Mage, as you can see, our DPS is roughly at 14 trillion, and for the Warrior, it will be the same. For the range, the Warrior's Lava Barrage has a 2 more steps longer compared to Mage's, but I don't think that it can be considered as a big advantage, but still, it's good to know. Let's now use these numbers on the newest map, Lava Chambers. As you guys can see, I will be using a Mage on the clip that will be playing in the background, and I will explain it later why. Anyway, the mobs inside the Lava Chamber in solo run have 25 trillion HP. All of them from the very first room up until to the last group of mobs before the third boss have 25 trillion HP. That means with our 14 trillion damage on both classes, we only need to do 2 skill cycles to wipe those mobs. By the way, this is also the reason why bringing double Lava Barrage is meaningless, because the additional 20% damage that you will get would not be enough to kill the mobs in one skill cycle. You would still need to do a second skill cycle to kill those mobs, and that makes it nonsense to do so because the 20% damage will only give you like roughly 1 to 2 trillion additional damage. For the bosses, both first and second boss has 75 trillion, and the last boss will have 79.99 trillion. Let's just say it's 80 trillion. It will take roughly 6 skill cycles for both of our Mage and Warriors to kill all of the bosses. However, this would now lead me to my personal choice on which class is better on this update between the Warrior and the Mage. If you have watched both of my Mage and Warrior video previously, you should have seen that I easily can reach the final boss without any problem, and I was even able to finish the whole map using my Warrior even without healing myself. Those runs were indeed OP, and it was recorded when the Lava Chambers was on its weakest point. What does that mean? After the update, Vinny decided to nerf several boss mechanics, mainly focusing on the final boss, since many of us at that time, at the first 2 days of the update, were really having a hard time even with those pesky mobs that can stun you. I recorded those runs while the version of the Lava Chambers was on its weakest because of the nerfs, but it was just recent that Vinny decided to buff it again, especially the final boss, since it became too easy after people have gotten their purple sets and also legendary. With that being said, it is now harder for us to solo the Lava Chamber, and in fact, that was the reason why I decided to use a healing spell to gather my Amethyst Blast just for me to kill the final boss, because you really cannot control the RNG of those projectiles being fired at you. It is not impossible, however, it would not be a good way to grind if you will die at the final boss, and that is something that warriors cannot do. Heal themselves. That being said, in my opinion, both classes are virtually equal, but on certain situation, Mages has a very slight advantage over Warrior. It does burst damage, that's the first one, and the second one is, of course, you are a Mage, you can heal yourself if ever you are soloing the dungeon, or probably if your Guardian died in a run for some reason. But still, I must say that both DPS are well balanced for this update, because the spell design is not really that complicated, so probably that's also the reason why it was designed like that, so that the balancing part for the update would not be that hard for the developers. But anyway, it means that you guys are free to choose whichever you may want it to without sacrificing the quality of your gameplay. Anyway, what about you guys? Which class are you using at the moment? Are you a Mage or a Warrior? Share your thoughts down in the comment section below, and if this video helped you, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. Stay cold! Peace out!